unlock it and get the treasure." He held up his hand for a high five. Jack was like that, helping me towards the answer but making me feel I got there myself. He passed me his box of chocolate frogs, and I sucked on one happily, even though I'd brushed my teeth. At first, the mix of minty toothpaste and chocolate was disgusting, but I knew that after about 30 seconds, my mouth would be filled with caramelly wonder. Each time I cracked one of Jack's puzzles, I immediately felt sleepy, and he had to pinch me to send me back to my own room. But that night, I was determined to stay awake for as long as possible, because it would be the last time in ages we'd be able to have this kind of conversation face to face. In the corner of his room, by the window, my brother's rucksack was already packed, and his passport and plane tickets were lying on the bedside table. Jack would be gone for a whole 10 months. He wouldn't be with us when we went to the fireworks for my birthday in November. He wouldn't bring me huge sticks of marshmallows like he did every year and tell me the names of all the weird and wonderful flashes in the sky. I could never tell which were real and which he'd made up on the spot. He'd also miss Christmas. Grandma Sylvie would come round, as she did every year, and complain about her aches and pains, and without Jack, there would be nobody to distract her by suggesting a card game or giving us all some really complicated puzzles to solve. I tried not to think about it too much, because it made a painful ball, which I couldn't swallow, form in my throat. So as I sat there, looking up at the skylight, I tried to think about everything other than Jack leaving, which was easier said than done. I told myself that I would remember this evening as the night of the treasure chest, because otherwise it would have to be the night before Jack left. I kept replaying the short birthday greetings film that Jack had sent me from Brazil. It was strange seeing him there on the beach when Mum and I were in the middle of our Christmas shopping. We went to Uncle Michael's for New Year's Eve dinner, and when I lit my sparkler, I made a couple of important resolutions. The first was that I would finally complete at least one of the stories that were swarming in my head, inspired by Jack's riddles. The second was that I would persuade Dad to pay for us all to visit Jack. On the wall calendar that he made for me, I kept counting down the days that he'd been away, and fortunately, time was passing quite quickly. The new term started, and we were set an exciting writing project in English. Otherwise, life carried on as normal. There were no signs that everything was about to change. Even the flashing lights of the 10:15 p.m. to New York still sped reliably past Jack's skylight night after night. But then, halfway through January, the boy who used to lie watching them was somewhere on the other side of the world, caught in what the lipstick newsreader on TV said was one of the worst natural disasters in living history. Chapter 2. It was a Thursday afternoon in the middle of English class. We'd been reading Sherlock Holmes and the Case of the Silk Stocking, and Mrs. Emmett had set us the best possible assignment, to write our own detective story. My discussions with Jack had given me so many great ideas. I'd even jotted some down in a special book of riddle tales, which I kept under my bed. I promised myself that one day I would type them up on Mum's laptop. I just hadn't found the time to do it yet. Now, after only half an hour, I'd managed to fill more than 3 pages. Kira was sitting next to me, twisting one of her braids round and round her finger and biting her tongue in concentration. I glanced at her exercise book and saw that she'd written a short paragraph, which had more words crossed out than left in. "Oi, stop copying," she whispered, winking at me. Kira and I had been friends since nursery, and we were good at completely different things. I love English, history and geography, anything that involves a story, while Kira is great at maths and science and likes things that have a definite answer. Being friends means we can help each other with stuff the other person isn't so good at. "I can't think of a story to save my life," she whispered to me now. "Do you think anyone will notice if I adapt one of the episodes of Crime Fighters that I watched with Mum the other week? It's on a weird channel. Probably not that many people would have seen it." "Go for it," I told her. "Everyone busy with their work?" said Mrs. Emmett, raising her eyebrow at us. "I see that some of you have lost your concentration. Before we finish for the day, it might be helpful to hear your opening..."